this morning. My name is Chris. I look after the advisor channel in Swoop. Previous experience for myself, working in NatWest and RBS, supporting businesses and accountancies for about 12 odd years now, all from funding all the way through to working with free agent and then through to metal as well. So some experience with small business and some with accountancy firms. What I'm going to talk about today is just the software that we give you with Swoop and the support that we can offer as well. So Swoop for advisors. Advisors can be anything from accountancy practices to bookkeepers. And what we can do is we give you two ways of software, which I'll go over today. And we are very keen on supporting you as much as possible. So we'll go into that today. First of all, what is Swoop? So Swoop is a financial platform where you can add your clients on board and then you've got a vast array of everything that's available to your clients as well. So if you were to add a client on board, they're able to look at all different types of funding at the top. So you've got everything from asset finance, invoice finance, you've got specific tax funding like your VAT, your corporation tax, your self-assessment. We also do commercial mortgages, we do acquisition finance, we do franchising. We've also got working capital loans, merchant finance, startup loans, and your traditional term loans as well. So in terms of a client does come to you and says, look, I'm looking for funding, there's numerous different ways to do it. So if a client comes to you looking for £50,000, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a loan. There could be different ways we can achieve that. If it's business expansion, is it buying a business? Is it to improve their cash flow? What we'll do is we'll look to our lenders, try and get the client the best deal and structure a way that's relevant for the client and the best outcome for the client as well. We've also got an equity offering as well. So we've got 300 investors that sit on the panel within Swoop. All we need is a pitch deck is the bare minimum. What you can do is you can send that pitch deck over to us and upload it onto the system. Then we'll have a look at that and then we can give you either feedback, give you success tips, or hopefully we can match you with an investor that sits on our panel. Our investors go from family offices to VCs up to high net worth and angel investors. We have been successful before in finding equity for these businesses, but again, it's a nice offering, especially if you've got clients that are in tech, software, healthcare, or manufacturing as ones that seem to be going quite well at the moment as well. In terms of grants, if you don't do R&D within your practice and you feel like you're outsourcing or your clients are asking for a lot of the work, what we can actually do is we can refer them to an internal R&D team. And then what we can do is we can take that claim from start to finish and we can do that for you as well. We also do innovation grants and loans. We also have a specific grant finder within the app as well. So that'll look at national, local, regional and council-based grants. We don't apply for the grants for you, but if you've ever been on Google trying to look for a local grant, it is an absolute nightmare. But what we do is we bring that into one place and show you what grants are actually available. At the bottom, we're also keen to helping your clients save or make money. So we can give you different offerings on bank accounts. You've got insurance all the way from public liability through to private healthcare as well. You can submit your utility bills and your gas bills and your water bills and we'll try and find you a better rate. We also do credit scoring and credit reports. So we've got a partnership with Credit Safe. So if you do have a client that you're interested to know where their credit sits, especially if it's a limited company, ask us the question, pop it on the portal and then we can give you a credit report pretty much instantly. We've got a partnership with Akoni, which gives us our savings accounts. So that's personal, partnership, sole trader, limited company. We're able to say what the interest rates are and then can source a savings account for you. We also do FX and we can also help with pensions. Every time that you refer on to Swoop and they are successful in doing everything that you can see in this screen below, you would be entitled to what we call commission. So you would get a percentage back of whatever Swoop receives. So, for example, if they were doing a commercial mortgage, the average commission that you would get back if you take 25% is £1,200. If it's a term loan, 1,000, R&D, etc., etc., etc. So the only thing that you don't really get commission on is grants, is because we have no really say in what happens with the grants. We just basically tell you what's available. But everything else, you should be entitled to some sort of commission. Again, it kind of varies depending on how much the client is taking and again how the deal is structured. But again, if there is a funding need, you would get commission back on that as well. In terms of how we can support your clients, there's different ways that we can actually do this. So you can upload your clients on a case by case basis. So every time that you're meeting with a client, you can say, right, I'm going to see what's available. You can upload a bulk of your clients at the same time. You can be very sector specific and say, right, all my construction clients, for example, or you can do it on turnover. You can do it on sole traders. There's different ways of segmenting your clients and what you want to look with Swoop. What we can actually do with Swoop as well is we can actually help you spot opportunities with your clients. Me and the team are very active in making you proactive. So if you have a client, for example, that you want to know everything that's available, we're very big on proactivity and we can also do pre-approvals as well. So if you've got a client that you're meeting next week and you simply want to know what's available and you're having these advisory-led conversations, you're really involved in the business and you want to add that little bit of value, you can just pass over the final accounts or the last year's filed accounts, and then we will tell you everything that the client is eligible for without doing a hard credit score. So that could be loans, invoice finance, revolving credit, tax loans. We're able to see when the tax is due. We just can't see the amount, unfortunately, but we're able to tell you the rough rate that they would get. So if their VAT bill is coming up, we're able to tell you within 5 minutes what the rate would be, how much they're paying, and how much the total overall loan would be. That is how quick that we can work, and that's you just adding that value where you can say to the client, look, spoke to my partners, this is everything that we see that's available for. And it just has that helps that conversation and helping that business. In terms of everything else that we can do that I'm going to go into a second, we can actually give you access to two systems. The first system is an internal CRM system. So what we're able to do is when we're talking about bulk uploading clients, as soon as you bulk upload the clients, and if it's a limited company, you're able to see all the credit scores here straight away. If you do it on a case by case basis, you'll be able to put in the turnover and what the requirement is, and then you can go straight to the accounting integration or you can go to funding matches straight away. That is how quick it can work. If you are adding a client for the first time, you can add specific clients, you can search, or you can bulk upload them at the same time. If you were adding a specific client, if it's on Company's House, it should pull through automatically. And then you can just fill in what is required. Does your client require funding? Yes. And then what we can do from here is just fill it as such. When you have added a client, it's not like we're going to throw everything at you at the moment to say, this is every single lender. We try and be as specific as possible. So when we're looking at funding matches, if we're going into test limited, for example, it's a credit score E. Not really much we can do with this, but if we go into funding matches, you can actually search based on the business. So what is the company type? Right, it might be a limited company, the region that it's based. So you can see we do it out with the UK as well. Sectors to include business age, turnover, and that will preload the matches straight into there. So it's personalised matches. It's not just throwing everything at it. If you're going to personalised matches, you can see every single one would be based on business expansion. But if you go to improve cash flow, it will be different matches as well and different lenders. That is where your involvement with the client, we will then take over and say to you as the accountant or the advisor, we can see that you've added Test Limited, they're looking for 50,000, how can we help? What we'll then do is we will go and speak to all these lenders, get the best deal and report back to you. So we're trying to pick up as much of that hard lifting as possible. And then what we can say is you've got option one, option two, option three, all worked in different ways and all structured in different ways. But again, it's trying to be as personalised as possible. If you're a broker, what you can also do as well is you can add the client exactly the same way and you can start a deal, and that means you can potentially do the deal from start to finish. You're able to click the I and it just gives you a little bit more information just about that potential funder. If you're looking for grants, again, you can go into grants and that'll pull through as much information as it can. So again, it's based on location. So for example, I'm based in Edinburgh. If I'm an Edinburgh-based business, I will have different matches to a Glasgow-based business just because the difference in location might be a difference in turnover, might be difference in sector. So again, we're trying to personalise it as much as possible. There's different things that you can do here as well. So you can integrate with all types of software. So we do all the main ones like your Xeros, QuickBooks, Sage, Free Agent. We also can integrate your bank account as well. You can also go into the business savings, and as I said, we're very keen on making our saving money. So if your clients are interested in any of these above, then you can obviously put it through and then we'll deal with the rest of that as well. You'll be able to track the deal as well. So when you do pass the client over to us and then we are working on it, you're able to see every time where it is submitted. So if information requested, that means we've asked the client for information and then we're just waiting for it. Submit provider, which means it's an underwriting offer accepted, and they're able to track that with notes at every step of the way. You're able to have a little notebook here that your notes will be on as well. So for example, if you are adding a grant, you can just go to new note, looking for solar panels, and then what we can do is we can personalize that grant, and our team will look for that grant for you as well. Really quick, really simple. And then as soon as you're starting to go and add more and more clients to it, you can start to build up a little pipeline for yourself as well. There's other things that you can do within the system as well. You can do accounting insights, banking insights, credit report, but that all takes place when you integrate the software. And again, here's the credit report that would link to Credit Safe, where you can see it pulls through all the information from there as well. What we can also do as well is we give you access to a white label. So this can be a data capture, it can be a lead generator, it can be a self-serve tool. It is whatever you want it to be because it's so useful. It can do multiple places, so it can be on your website, it can be in social media, it can be on your local community page on Facebook. Why it's so good is because it just is always there for your clients to go on. So you can create a marketing campaign, you can put it on Facebook. Look, here's the grants that are available. All it takes is for the client to do is create an account, looking to secure funds, I'm looking for something else. And then what happens is, it's because this is all personalized to your practice, your logo would be on the left-hand side. As soon as you sign in as a client, you are able to see everything that's available for your business. Now, the benefit of this is that we know that clients can sit on a Sunday night, a Saturday night, and that's when the worries start to come. Oh, I've not been paid this week, or I've got an invoice outstanding. Why is my business growing, but I've got no cash to show for it? Here's a place that they can just direct their intent through, and then it goes through to you. So, for example, if they're looking for loans, they're able to go through this and fill in the information straight away. So the average information that we will look at is 6 months bank statements and last year's failed accounts. They can create that intent right there. So as soon as they get offers, it creates like a little application form. If they were looking for grants, which if you were an accountant or an advisor, you can email your client base to say, here's how I look at the grants, fill through this. They're able to see that straight away. Again, they're not able to apply for it through this, but they're able to see what grants are available. Credit card, VAT, they're able to see the credit score. They can upload their utility bill. This is all custom made to you as well, so it's always looking like it's on your portal. It can be on your website. The benefit of doing this is when I say it's a data capture and capturing intent, it's because clients and non-clients can go through this. As soon as they create their profile, it flows automatically into your internal CRM system. So you're able to see who's done it, what they're looking for, what the intent is, and what they've uploaded as well. So it is very, very fast and very, very easy to go into. So as soon as that test limited, for example, went through the white label, you're able to go into the clients. We'll keep you updated, obviously, if it has went through. So go into test limited, they've went through the white label. You're able to see the director that's went through. So for example, all the information that's pulled through, there's the director, and then it automatically pulls through all that information, and then we can pick that up for you straight away. You have full control over what happens with your clients as well. So if a client does come through the Swoop system, we do not market, we do not contact, we don't phone, we don't email, we don't do anything. That is your client. If you want us to speak to the client directly, you can do, but we will never contact the client unless you tell us to do so. So even if you've got 10 to 15 clients that come through your white label automatically, they're your client. And until you tell us it's okay for us to contact, we won't contact. But the benefit of the white label is if you're on a growth journey, or if you want to have the advisory-led conversations, or if you want to self-serve by not really doing much, the benefit of doing this is that it does it all for you. So it's no unheard of story that a non-client looks for a loan, goes through your portal, you have a discovery call with a client, and then you can get commission from that, even though it's not your client. But again, that is how easy it can work. And if it's put in the right places and implemented properly, there's so much you can do with it. In terms of the other systems that we can use and other things that we can use to your advantage as well. So I mentioned about tax funding. So when we're looking at tax funding, we do VAT, corporation tax, and self-assessment. So what you can do, for example, if you do have a client's VAT bill that is coming up, or we'll just go on self-assessment as it's quite popular at the moment. So your client says to you, my self-assessment is due, I want to save my cash reserves, I don't want to spend it all at once. What you can then do is this can be custom made to your practice. It's linked to Companies House and Credit Safe. So you get a funding quote, but you can put this in your communications as well. So if you've got a communication that goes to say, here is your self-assessment bill. If you're struggling to pay, you can contact HMRC. But if you want to fund it over a certain amount of time, you can do it and link the calculator to it. You simply go to get funding quote, boom, straight away. That's pre-approved. So we can tell that from the credit score, we can tell it from the loan amount as well. So that's pulling through the accurate quote. So if this business was looking to spread their self-assessment over 6 months, we're able to say that would cost the business 53,845. The interest rate is 7.69. That is how quick it can work. So even though this is just based for limited companies, we can do it for partnerships and sole traders. It's just easier to do this in terms of the calculator for limited companies. Again, works the exact same premise for VAT and corporate tax, corporation tax. So again, if you're looking for VAT, you can do this. So the maximum you can do VAT is over 3 months. Exact same process. That is how quick a business can, or if you're sitting with a business and they can tell you, right, you know what, I'm struggling to pay my VAT bill. Here's what you can do. That is such an interesting tool because everyone is struggling for cash flow, it seems, at the moment, but it's a really slick way. We want to kind of keep businesses away from a time to pay. We want to keep them off the HMRC's radar. If they do have an active time to pay, there are other options, but it does make things incredibly difficult to fund if they do have an active time to pay. But again, we're just trying to give you as much information and as much to have the conversations with your clients as possible as well. So in summary, if you do partner with Swoop, you have two systems that you have access to. You've got your internal for you and your staff. You've got your white label. You've got your commission that is attached to that as well. And you've got all the other tools that you can use as well. So you've got your VAT calculators. We do insight reports as well, which we can give you a full summary on as well. So everything is kind of based on how we can support your business and how we can support your clients. What I always say as well is it kind of works in tandem. So if we can help your client, it makes you look really good, and Swoop naturally becomes a revenue stream for you as well. So everything that you get, as I've said, but you do have a specific point of contact. You do have a plan in place to see how we can maximize and assist your practice, and we can see how we can get the maximum return of investment back if you are paying for Swoop on a subscription basis. Just to give you an idea, the average commission for an unsecured loan is around about £400. Can go up, can go down, but that's on 10% commission. You have a full marketing team at your disposal, so we do templates, we can help you implement it on your website, we can help you with SEO. There's tons of stuff that we can do, like leaflets and stuff like that as well, that can help. So if you are thinking, right, you know what, that is a good idea, but I don't have a clue about marketing, leave it to us, we'll help you with that. And we've got tailor-made support for you as well. So everything that we can do, like insight reports, credit safe reports, tax calculators, they can be custom branded to your practice as well. And I suppose the benefits of having Swoop within your practice is we want to kind of get ahead of clients that are potentially looking for funding, or they know they need funding but they don't know it themselves yet. That's why we're so keen on being proactive this year. So again, pre-approvals are going to be huge. If you're having a conversation to be like, this is what's available for your business, you just never know what the client is really thinking to say, do you know what, I could actually deal with this, or I could actually have with this. Funding's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just being smart with your money. Example, revolving credit facilities, brilliant little tool. Basically works like an overdraft or a loan. They have a credit limit that sits in the background. If they don't use it, they don't pay for it. But if they do need something for wages, for tax, for materials, for stock, they can just take out that little bit of credit limit. And it's very low in interest as well. So a really beneficial tool. Again, loans, invoice finance, we're giving you all that information so you can have that conversation with the client. The average practice that partners with us can earn over up to 2,000 a year with Swoop. So it can be an income stream for you as well. So if you've got any software that you really don't like paying for, or you want to donate it to charity, or if you do want to do something with the commission, you can do that as well. But that is it for myself, everyone. I'll open up to any questions. Perfect, no questions. So you can reach out to myself. I'm Chris Roxburgh on LinkedIn. Chris.roxburgh at swoopfunding.com is my email address as well. Feel free to reach out to myself. If you want a more in-depth demo of the software, we can definitely do that as well. If you're just looking to see how we can help your clients as a test case, we can definitely do that as well. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's a busy time for you all, but I really appreciate your time and hopefully speak to you all soon.